Hello all, good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. Yes, the wait is finally over. We have been talking about Business Central 27, aka Dynamics 365 Business Central 2025 release wave 2 for a while, but during India holidays, which is day before yesterday, Microsoft made release of 2025 wave 2. What that means, we'll talk about in this video. We'll start with very basic of how you create a new environment in Business Central Cloud, and then we'll go a little bit deep into what you need to do as a customer or as a partner if you are or if your customers are on Business Central Cloud. Now, if you know all about it, I'll see you into the other video, but if you don't, then stick with me and we'll get into it. Okay, so let's start by creating an environment because it'll take some time. So what you need to do if you have a Business Central SaaS subscription is head up to your admin center, and then in admin center click on the new button, which allows you to create new environments. Now, as per the default quota from Microsoft, you get one production environment, which I already have, and then you get 3 sandbox that you can create. One of my sandbox is on 26.5, whereas one of my sandbox is on 27 preview. So I'm going to create a new one, which I'll call PC 27 to keep it simple, and then I need to choose the type. Now here, next is you choose your region, on which part of the world you live in, so that you get the right release of the Business Central, which supports your localized functionality and all. Now I live in India, but most of my customers are in US, so I'll prefer US at this moment. And then last but not least is you need to choose a version. Now by default, you'll see that in Business Central Cloud, it's always the latest version. I'm a little bit surprised, but I still see that you have a way to kind of choose from 26.0 to 26.5, which I'm a little bit surprised. I'll talk about it in a while, but I'll go with 27.0, and that's it. You just do a create and it starts creating your environment. It puts into a queue, and then in a while you will see when you refresh it that you have an environment in preparation, so it's being prepared. Okay, so that's how you create a new environment if you have a Business Central SaaS subscription available. Now let's talk about if you're an existing customer or a partner. Now, if you're an existing customer or a partner, you know about these waves. These wave comes every 6 months. Wave, as the name wave, it is actually not major changes coming into September and March. It actually spread around this period. So like when you see a wave, it's not one big wave coming together and there are major things into it. So when you look at the release note, you'll see that these waves talk about what will be done between this release and the next release. So you might see some features that we have talked in previous videos which are now available. You might see some new features which will not be available before, let's say, next month or 2 months down the line. That's how waves work. So the first thing for customers is to know that are they ready for their upgrades. Now, as of today, when I'm recording this, you see the next update is still 26.5. 27.0 is not available, even if this environment is on 26.5. If I go into the environment and I try to pick the version, it says it's planned for October. So I'm hoping in a week or two, as Microsoft start rolling out updates, you will see an option to upgrade to version 27. And when we say upgrade to version 27, that's where I guess you need to keep some certain things in mind. The first thing that you should remember is that your email address, if you're a customer, is available in the notification recipients. Now this email address, you can have multiple people added here. Each record holds one name and any email address is important because you get notified from Microsoft if there is a problem with your upgrade. If there is a problem with the extensions that you're using, they can be Microsoft extension, which I'm pretty sure there will not be a problem because it's a Microsoft wave. But if you're using an ISV, if there are problems, you get notified here. if your partner have built a PTE, a pertinent extension, just for you, if it has some code which is not compatible to version 27 at this moment, you'll get a notification email from Microsoft. So if you don't have it here, make sure to set it here. Now for partners, for notification recipient, make sure that you have some people from your customer team and then one or multiple people from your team to get notified whenever there is a notification sent from Microsoft. Now let's briefly talk about why that's important. Now, as the new version is announced now, Microsoft gives you a certain period of time before they force an upgrade on you. And they have to, as in they don't just want to, but they have to. That's how the Business Central Cloud world works, right? So there is a full baked in schedule that how long you will be given. So let's say you set up the notification today and you were not set it up yesterday or before this, watching this video, and you get a notification. The first thing that you if you are an administrator at a customer side, or if you're a developer who manages customers on cloud, is to make sure that you go ahead and postpone this date, which gives you some time to fix the issue. And in the meantime, Microsoft don't continuously keep checking on your environment because they know that you have postponed it, right? So you will have a way to say, okay, I would like to postpone it to certain date. There will be date. Let me show you on the other environment if I have the old one, right? This is on 26.4. So even for the minor one you can do that, but typically it doesn't kind of matter much on minor ones. But if you see, you have a capability here to go a little bit far into the future to schedule it later into the future, right? So if you see these notifications and all, make sure that you set up your update date to a little bit into the future. Work with your partner and customers, if you are a partner, to make sure how much time it will take to kind of fix it. The things that are not compatible with version 27, make sure those changes are tested on a sandbox before they get into the production. And then once you're done with it and everything looks good, I prefer to upgrade a sandbox first, so that my customer have experience to see, does the new feature, what they look like, is it, is any new feature causing problem in their daily operations. I prefer to upgrade a sandbox before I schedule my production to be upgraded. It can vary from partner to partner, but that's my approach, or the approach that we follow at the consulting. Once you have defined that, okay, everything looks good, whatever the issues we have fixed those with our partner, and we are good to go to the next wave, which is 27 at this moment. Make sure that you have the update window set correctly with your time zone. So you don't want Microsoft to pick your environment and upgrade it during your working hours, right? So if you are an administrator again, or if you are a developer at a partner side who manages customers on cloud, make sure that the time zone is selected correctly based on wherever you are, wherever your customer is if you are a partner, and make sure the time zone is correctly set, right? So for example, let's say if I have a customer who is on Pacific time zone, so I need to make sure that I select this, and then this window, the start time and end time, Microsoft needs approximately 6 hours. That's the minimum you can go. So they need a 6-hour window to run the upgrade. If everything goes well, great. Otherwise they roll it back to your previous stage. All right, so I say, okay, my customer is in Pacific time zone, upgrade them or update them. Let's say they close at 5, right? Let's say at 6 p.m. after 6 p.m. and then between 6 to 1 a.m., right? I cannot do 12, I guess. Oh no, I can do, oh yeah, I can do 12. I cannot do 11 or 11:30 because it need to be at least 6 hours. So I need to give it a time that, okay, based on my customer time zone, pick these 6 hours, because this is majorly where no users are using the system, and save the state. That's one thing. And then make sure that it actually happens over a weekend, that the load is very low into the system. which you can do from here. You can schedule a date when you want to upgrade. I'll pick a Saturday or a Sunday based on whatever my customer working hours at, and make sure this is not enabled, because if this is enabled, then irrespective of what settings you have done, the scheduler behind the scene will skip those settings, because that's what this is for. It says allow the update to run outside the update window. So if you enable this, the scheduler is going to reject all the settings that you have done here. So make sure that this is set. Okay, that's one thing. If you're a partner, I am pretty sure that you're doing this, but I would like to call it out. Make sure to have a session with your customers to explain what's new in Business Central 27. I'm not saying do it individually for each customer. It's a lot of time otherwise. Prepare a session, invite all of your customers on a Teams webinar or somewhere, and explain them what different functionalities has been added on Business Central 27. If there's something that is useful for some customers and not for some other customers, but there will be things, I'm pretty sure, for everyone in some areas of enhancement that has been done with Business Central 27. Explain them what are those functionality so that they can utilize those things in their product as they move forward. Okay, so we have talked about notification recipients, we have talked about scheduling your update, make sure everything looks good, and as it goes, do it on production environment. And as we are talking about it, I guess my Business Central 27 is now ready, so I can now go in and start using my Business Central 27, which is aka Dynamics 365 Business Central 2025 release wave 2, and it's operational now for me. Okay, do it for all your customers so that they can understand and utilize the benefit of the product. And then I have a question for you. Do you still have customers on-prem? If yes, let me know. I'll do a detailed video on installation if needed and things like that. Do we need an upgrade video to version 27? If yes, let me know into the comments. Okay, and we'll surely talk about it. If you're a customer and still watching it, if we can help some way, reach out to us at info@adityaconsulting.com or ping me on any social media. We'll be happy to help you with your needs of Business Central. At this point, you know the drill. If you think this was useful or will be helpful to someone, to hit a like button. It helps these videos to kind of get traction and reach to the right audience. I love the comments where people say, I don't know why this channel is not getting a lot of subscribers or views. It's your channel. You decide what goes out, how many people it reaches to. So make sure to share this at least with one person who was not informed about things that we have talked about in this video. And if you haven't, and if you think this adds value to you, do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you sooner than later into what's new in Business Central 27 very soon. Okay, till then, keep learning and keep sharing whatever you're learning. Thank you and have a nice day.